In today's video, I'm going to be outlining 5 SUICA/PASMO card alternatives that you need to be aware of for your upcoming trip to Japan. You've most probably heard of the SUICA or PASMO whilst planning for your upcoming trip. It is a contactless smart card that you can load up and use to ride all forms of public transportation within cities in Japan. There is some good news. The Japan government has just announced that the sales of SUICA and PASMO IC cards will resume. That being said, news of them selling out or being unavailable again is at this point to be expected given the rising Japan tourism numbers. And so in this video, I wanted to outline all the alternatives that you should consider in the event that both the SUICA and PASMO cards are unavailable during your visit. I'm going to kick it off with the more obvious options such as a digital SUICA or PASMO and work my way up or down the list to the lesser known options. This is also a fantastic video if you are an Android user because the digital SUICA or PASMO option is not an option for you unless your device was purchased in Japan. And so if you're after alternatives, this video is going to be jam-packed with them. By the way, hey guys, it's Steve from the Fat Life Project. Welcome back to my channel. I love creating fat travel guides just like this one that helps simplify your travel planning. And so if that is your vibe, I recommend clicking on the subscribe button so that we can go on more fat travel adventures together. Trying my best to get to 10,000 followers by the end of the year. Anyway, without further ado, let's get into it. Let's start with the most obvious option, which is if you have an iPhone, did you know that you can activate a digital SUICA or PASMO within Apple Wallet itself? It is very straightforward to do. Simply head into the Apple Wallet, click on travel cards, search for SUICA or PASMO, click on it and use Apple Pay to load it up and you're good to go. Indeed, if you are an iPhone user, this is the option for you. You can stop watching the video now. That's great, Steve, but I use an Android device, I hear you say. I see. Well then, your next best option would be to try to get your hands on a welcome SUICA or a PASMO passport. They are basically versions of the original SUICA and PASMO cards that are specifically designed for tourists/short-term travelers and do exactly the same thing. The only main difference here is both of those cards are only valid for 28 days from the moment of activation, after which you cannot recharge or reuse the cards. Just to note as well that the PASMO passport is, as of the writing of this video, unavailable. But not to worry, the welcome SUICA is, and here's where you can get your hands on one. There are several locations according to their website, of which the link I've also placed in my description box. Starting with the JR East Travel Service Centers, they look like this. At the Narita Airport Terminals 1, 2 and 3 stations, Haneda Airport Terminal 3 station, as well as the Tokyo, Shinagawa, Shibuya, Shinjuku, Ikebukuro, and Ueno stations. Alternatively, you can also get your welcome SUICAs at the welcome SUICA vending machines that look like this, located at Narita Airport Terminals 1 to 3 stations, as well as the Haneda Airport Terminal 3 station. Getting your welcome SUICA at the airport when you arrive is going to be your best option, but in the event that you still are not able to get your hands on a welcome SUICA, you may wish to also check out the Japan Rail Cafe Tokyo. I've placed the Google Map pin of that cafe in my description box. But if let's say you failed to get your hands on a welcome SUICA, or perhaps you're someone who's planning to only stay in Tokyo for a couple of days, you may then wish to consider getting a Tokyo Subway Pass. The main advantage of this option is that the Subway Pass will allow you to take unlimited rides on the Tokyo Metro for the duration of the pass for a set price. There are 3 options for the pass: the 24 hours, 48 hours, and 72 hours. And I have listed the pricings here. As you can see, it's half price for children. It is actually a fantastic option if you're planning to take a lot of trains in Tokyo because the pricing is unbeatable. I mean, the 3-day version of the pass, for example, costs 1,500 yen or around $10.50 US, which works out to be just slightly over $3 a day. Just know that if you're planning to stay more than 3 days, you may wish to combine some of these passes together. Like let's say, for example, if you're there for 5 days, you may wish to get a 3-day pass followed by a 2-day pass. There are several ways to get these passes, as you can see on their official website here. I've also placed that link again in my description box as well. One of the other good things about the Tokyo subway ticket option is that you can actually pre-purchase them prior to your arrival in Japan via the official website. There are also some pretty cool options here. For example, you can choose to bundle your purchase with a Keisei Skyliner or limousine bus ticket, which are transport options that will take you from the airport to downtown Tokyo. You can also choose to purchase it with hotel accommodation, as you can see here. Once you've purchased the pass, you will get a QR code in your email that you will need to have on you, whether in printed form or on your phone, in order for you to claim the actual ticket via ticket vending machines located at any stations located within the Tokyo Metro Subway or Toei Metro Subway networks. The validity of the pass starts from the moment you claim it, and you will need to claim the pass within 12 months of you purchasing it online. On and all, it is a fantastic option if you plan to stay within Tokyo for a limited period of time. However, if you plan to stay in Tokyo for a longer period of time, such as 2 weeks, a month, etc., these passes will also buy you some time to locate an actual IC card. And that leads quite nicely into the next option, which is you can actually use other IC cards that are available in Japan. You see, whilst everybody is talking about the SUICA and PASMO, did you know that there are actually 10 IC cards in Japan? Each of them are mainly used in the city or areas of Japan, as you can see on this map. I mean, the SUICA and PASMO are understandably the most commonly known Japan IC cards because they're the ones that are used in Tokyo, Japan. But did you know that the IC card in other cities in Japan, shown on this map, can also be used in Tokyo and vice versa? Like, for example, if you were in Osaka or Kyoto and happened to be able to get your hands on an ICOCA card while you're there, then that ICOCA card can also be used in Tokyo. That's great, Steve, except I'm gonna stay put in Tokyo. I can't seem to get my hands on a welcome SUICA. I have an Android device, so I can't activate a digital SUICA or PASMO. Well, if purchasing a Tokyo subway pass is still not an option for you, then not to worry, I still have one more trick up my sleeve. And I'm actually surprised that not many people are talking about this one. You see, whilst everybody knows about the SUICA and PASMO, what many people do not know is that there is actually a third IC card in Tokyo called the TOICA. Due to the popularity of SUICA and PASMO, they are often sold out, but the TOICA is actually much lesser known, so the chances of you getting your hands on one is hopefully much higher. So what's the difference between a SUICA, PASMO and a TOICA? For the intents and purposes of a short-term traveler or tourist such as yourself and I, virtually nothing. I honestly think that the only reason why it isn't talked about as much is because the website is entirely in Japanese, as you can see here, but you can easily translate it using your browser's translate function. Why do you want to translate the website, Steve? I hear you say. Well, because you can then scroll down to find out where you can get your TOICA card. Here's a list of the TOICA ticketing offices. Hey guys, Editing Steve jumping back in real quick just to add that the TOICA card will cost you 2,000 yen to purchase, which includes a refundable deposit of 500 yen and an initial amount of 1,500 yen that you can use. Also, make sure you bring cash to buy the card, as credit cards will not be accepted. And so if you didn't know this, you are quite welcome. Of course, all the IC cards that I've mentioned in this video so far can only be used within cities in Japan. If you plan to travel intercity, let's say from Tokyo to Kyoto or Tokyo to Osaka, etc., you will need to ride a Shinkansen, aka a bullet train, and you will need to purchase a ticket for that separately. And depending on how much intercity travel you're planning to do, getting a JR pass or a JR regional pass could make sense. And I talk about how to work out if getting a JR pass or a JR regional pass is worth it for you pricing wise in my JR pass video, which I will link at the end of this video so that you can go ahead and watch that next. Heading to Japan for the first time can be quite daunting, and I learned many things during my trip to Japan, either whilst planning for it or learnt the hard way during my time there. That's why I did a first-timer's guide to Japan, which I will also recommend you check out. I've linked it at the end of this video. I do hope that you found this video helpful, informative, or perhaps just a little bit entertaining. If it has, don't forget to give me a like and subscribe. It really does help appease the YouTube algorithm gods, but more importantly, it it just makes my day as a content creator. If you have any further questions, comments, or feedback on this video, don't forget to also drop me a comment, as I do love hearing from you. And if you got to this point of the video, 50 points to Gryffindor for you. But also thank you for watching. It really does mean everything. I do hope that you have a fantastic day ahead, or that you've already had a good day. As always, I will see you very soon in the next video. Ciao!